I want to talk to you about customer service and the perceptions that customers have. And I've entitled this about the little things that matter, because what I found is the majority of our customers do not have the technical skill to assess whether most professionals, actually in most industries, are any good at what we do. So one of the things then they do is they start to rely on other things. So let's just talk about that. So I call this relative competency, because your clients struggle to assess you technically and understand your technical skill relative to one of your competitors or one of your colleagues, and therefore they rely on largely unrelated cues to determine your competence. And what they do is function on this thing that if they do the small things well, then they must do the big things well. You know what I mean? So if they can't understand the big things, which is your technical competence, then they look at a lot of the small things that sit around that in your business and give us some insights into whether you do the big things well. Now, I like to think about that. So the first thing is you've got to do a great job, right? There's no excuse for not delivering quality services at really high quality technical skill, right? That you need to have a level of technical competence that matches your, I guess, the products and services that you're going to deliver, and you need to do that well. But if we look at something called the trust equation, this is out of some work by David Maister, what we find is that trust is built on credibility, reliability, intimacy, and then with self-orientation as sort of the denominator in that equation, bringing things back to reality. Now, when I look at clients and when they start to try to evaluate the technical skill of a professional, then I find that the top three, credibility, reliability, and intimacy, are the ones that they use the most. So credibility is about being convincing and believable to your client, right? And it's the important things that we all get right. So it's about our qualifications, it's about our website, it's about awards that we've won, it's about our track record and our history. Those sort of things give you credibility. It could be associations and alliances that you have that give you that credibility, but you need to have credibility. I find credibility is the baseline in helping clients to decide on the quality of what you do. Reliability is the big one, because this is doing what you said you were going to do. This is all the little things. That's the things like turning up on time, returning phone calls promptly, all those sort of things, responding to emails quickly, getting your grammar and your spelling right in emails. The number of professionals that send me emails with poor spelling and grammar in them, and all of a sudden they go, well, if they can't spell properly, can they do these other things right? Now, often it's just a fact that people are in a hurry, they do them on their phones, they're doing all sorts of things. Slow down, take the time, because it's damaging your brand. Okay, this reliability is the critical element. And the last one is intimacy, which is probably not what you think, but it's having a deep understanding of your customer and their industry and their business. All right, and that's about doing your research on them and understanding them and knowing them and being able to share that across your organization. If you've got a CRM, start to use that to populate things that inform the other members of your team about your clients and what they do. All right, it's not about being creepy. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm not about stalking people for stalking's sake. It's about having a genuine, caring, understanding view of your clients and what they do. Because I find that intimacy then is the glue that often binds that deeper business relationships. So it is in a nutshell. Your clients have no capability often clients will have no capability to assess your technical skills, or limited capability to assess your technical skills. Often the only time they find out that somebody wasn't particularly good is when they change to another supplier. So, you change accountants and all of a sudden the new accountant picks up a whole lot of mistakes that your previous accountant had made. All right, so, and then they go, oh, okay, but he was such a nice guy and he did all this stuff and he was really good. So people judge your business based on the small things you do. All right, and we need to build a plan that says how we're going to focus on these small things, the attention to detail and all that sort of stuff that makes that important. Okay, interested in your comments and your feedback on this topic, and happy to have a conversation with you at any time about growing your business and taking that to the next level. Cheers.